everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's chat show, just running a little late. And this will be a short video today. Sorry. Today's Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. And it's kind of been misty and somewhat rainy this morning. They're predicting the atmospheric river that'll be coming down from Alaska. So it's going to be windy and very rainy. Today we'll be talking about, I call him so-called because he's not acting like a true Speaker of the House, federal-wise. Speaker Johnson, Mike Johnson. And he's being stupid and he's being obtuse. And I don't know what he is afraid of. Really, I don't, Anyway, he's breaking federal law by not swearing in this lady from the, I think what they said, 3rd District in Arizona. And the Attorney General of Arizona has filed a major lawsuit against him in the House. And say, if you don't swear her in, guess what? You're in trouble, federal law-wise. And the only way to solve this is to swear her in. The lawsuit will probably be dropped. But still, there'll be a black mark against Johnson for acting this way. Why is he so afraid of Trump is beyond me. And all the MAGA people that are enabling Trump are being stupid themselves. Okay? They're letting a bully win. And I am not going to let a bully win. Trump needs to be held accountable, and so are those that are breaking the law. Okay? I'm not going to remain silent about this. This needs to be said day in, day out until we get a new president, a new cabinet in place. The House needs to start impeachment proceedings. In other words, according to the 25th Amendment and everything else, the president and the whole enchilada of the cabinet will be given the boot out the door. Now, another thing that's happening, and it's very, very wrong, they're supposed to get a congressional approval if there's going to be any additions or changes to the White House campus. Well, Trump went ahead and started tear down about a good portion of the East Wing of the White House because he went to put up his gold ballroom. The guy's an idiot. And they're idiots. And I think the contractors, they have to go, in order to do an addition, they have to go through listed contractors. They're contracted through the government to do these projects. East Wing was, I did a little history search. East Wing was added on. It was basically the East Room. Was added on in Teddy Roosevelt time. It was much earlier. It was about around the 1800s, late 1900s when it was put in. Because they needed more room and more space. I think it was Dolly Madison that had suggested put the East Room in. Well, back in history, the interesting part, the East Room was used as a laundry facility for a short time. So they could do the laundry, dry the laundry, and the laundry's not dried outside or anything. And she helped with the laundry and the staff helped with the laundry and everything. Well, also, Dolly Madison did the Rose Garden project. she was the one that designed it and put it in. And then basically she haunted the place to prevent, things going on with the rose garden and the East Room. I would imagine the ghosts there are going to be so pissed about this. And I hope that Trump gets really haunted about this in his room, since he's sleeping separately from Melania. He kicked Melania out of the East Wing because that used to be the First Lady's offices there, which is no more. So, out of his selfishness, he decided to build this ballroom without getting congressional approval. As you notice, that Trump keeps circumventing Congress. You can't do that. You cannot do that at all, Trump. Period. So why don't you just resign and just leave? And we'll take some money from you and we will put the East Wing back the way it was. It could be rebuilt. Okay. There's really no need for a ballroom. The tent system that the previous presidents had worked just fine. They even did the East Room. They used the East Room as a ballroom. And sure, they have a certain limited capacity, but they did it in such a way where it worked just fine. Now, what he could have done was put a smaller building, smaller separate ballroom there with a breezeway type thing and make it separate. Okay? Not just destroy a historical part of the building. So, there's a need to stop the ballroom construction. They have to get congressional approval. Okay? And it's violating law. And people say, well, you're preaching to the choir and this and that. And I go, no, it needs to be said. It's not preaching to the choir. It says right there in black and white what the president can and cannot do. Okay? He could do redecoration. He could do, some kind of a small contribution. But, when President Obama was in office, he didn't do any additions or anything to it. For example, President Roosevelt put in a swimming pool. And that's where right now, the swimming pool is now covered by the press room. Press room used to be a swimming pool there. President Roosevelt needed the swimming pool in order for him to exercise as much as he could. Yes, he had polio, but they're finding out those with polio can swim. They just have to, it's more like upper body strength and everything. Do this. It was a lap pool. Well, it started having some issues, and so they took the swimming pool out. And in the 1940s, late 1940s took it out. 1950s they took it out. They gutted the White House, had to totally rebuild it because it was having some serious structural issues. Buildings were 200 some odd years old. Okay. They put in steel real bars, which is the bones of the building, so it doesn't have any structural issues. Prior to the rebars putting in there replaced was wood joists in there. That's what caused it eventually to start falling apart. Because what caused that was upstairs, the grand piano fell through the floor. Luckily, nobody was hurt. This was in the 1950s, so President Truman had to move out, and they had to regut it and everything, and then rebuild it back in the way it was. Okay. So, history is really needed. Okay. You can't change history, and Trump is trying to change history. No, you can't change history, Trump. It's already been written. It's already there. And also, during the weekend of the No Kings, the radical GOP, the MAGAs, were saying, oh, it's an Hate America rally and everything. In other words, you have all these lies about the No Kings protests. Either they don't get it, the MAGAs, when they're being stupid and obtuse, or they just don't like the fact that millions upon millions of people have shown up for the protests to voice their concerns. Okay? And Trump doing this AI thing version, flying a fighter jet and dumping junk on them and everything else, that is petty. That's childish on Trump's part, okay? Not going to work, Trump. So resign. Take everybody with you and be held accountable because you broke a lot of laws. I would imagine your rap sheet is so long it's not even funny. So, Johnson, Speaker Johnson, yeah, you. Reopen the government, swear her in, do the vote, signature, release the Epstein files, and reopen the government and hire everybody back. And stop being petty and silly and stupid. Because I probably know why you're not want to release the Epstein files, because I bet your name is in there too. Nobody likes a pedophile. Ever. So, we need to push back on this, guys. Okay, let me check my calendar here. Hold on a second. Let's see. I'll see you on Friday on the 24th as scheduled at 1 o'clock. And received news on my elevator here in my apartment complex. The inspection won't happen until from today, which is really stupid. They need to do it now. Not very many people can go up and down stairs like this. This is really stupid. They said it'll be completed next Wednesday. They need to do it now, not next Wednesday. It's getting harder and harder for me to go up and down the stairs because of my knee the way it is. It's hurting right now. And a lot of my neighbors can't get up and down stairs. They had nowhere to go. Okay, they had to stay here. Now, others were able to go to stay with family and friends until the elevator's back. But it's really stupid. You know, they need to do it now because they said it was supposed to happen today. Now, I hope they don't keep delaying because then they're going to lose people. So anyway, I will post this on my YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing is free. You don't have to worry about paying for anything. And be sure to share. We need a very, very strong voice in this. Push back. Remind Congress who they work for, especially in red states, to remind their senators and representatives who they work for. You say, well, they don't listen to us. Well, if they don't listen to you, vote them out. Vote them out. Get rid of them. And then get people in there that know what public service means and what you're supposed to do in public service. Okay? So anyway, I will see you on Friday. Take care. And Friday is also the start of the World Series. The Dodgers will be taking on Toronto. And I'm going to be rooting for the Dodgers. So, anyway, take care. Love to all. And I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.